Union Finance Minister Arun Jaitley is addressing the Bengal Business Summit in Kolkata. Let's cross live.
My colleague in the government, Mr. Nitin Gadkari, is going to be here this afternoon. And I personally would be delighted to see if West Bengal becomes, with his responsibility and his presence at this meet today, a state with some glorious highways, a state where the ports, which is also his responsibility, become more modernized. It won't alone be highways. It alone won't be ports. It will also be a first step to a creation of more urban and suburban areas, more townships in the state. At the end of the day, they are important engines of growth as far as the states are concerned. Kolkata, by far one of the most important Indian cities, the capital of West Bengal, is an engine driver of growth as far as Bengal is concerned. More townships in the state, because people are aspiring. They are not supposed to live indefinitely in semi-homes and villages. The aspirational class in India is expanding across the board in every part of the country. They are shifting in large numbers to urban and suburban centers because that's where economic activity is. With this historical background of intellectual capital, Bengal probably would have to see many more universities of international quality, built both by the states, by the center, as also by the private sector, more healthcare institutions. Last year in the Union Budget, we sanctioned an All India Institute of Medical Sciences in West Bengal. I am sure steps are being taken now to expedite its setting up in West Bengal itself. More tourism attraction centers, because as the film which was displayed just now clearly did demonstrate that. And I am sure when each one of you invests in the state, I am here to assure you the central government will strongly stand behind the state government in order to support each one of the rupees and dollars that you invest in the state. Madam Chief Minister, you have a mandate to rule the state. And therefore, you have the responsibility to deliver what was promised. We have a mandate to rule the country from the center. We have a responsibility to deliver from Delhi what we had promised. Notwithstanding in many areas our political differences, the strength of India is that despite these differences, India remains a strong federation of states. As a strong federation of states, India continues to grow with the cooperation of the center and the states. In all areas where the states want to prosper, we are here to fully support you. I'll just mention 3 steps which will help the state of West Bengal to further consolidate its fiscal position. A large part of the money that we are going to get because of the auction of the coal blocks is going to go to the coal-producing states. And West Bengal is going to be one of the 4 states which is going to be a major beneficiary of that. Dr. Amit Mitra's job in the next fiscal is going to be made much easier because of that. Not only are we going to pay you one installment of the CST compensation, which he has been strongly advocating before the 31st of March this year, the balance amount will also be paid in the times to come. I have already given my commitment to all the states with regard to the CST compensation so that your own fiscal position is eased. We've also given an assurance to all the states that as a result of the implementation of the GST, which is a long demand as far as this country is concerned, no state will lose a single rupee of revenue We have assured them of compensating them against any loss of revenue. In the case of West Bengal, which is predominantly a consuming state, I have not the least doubt in my mind that their revenue position is going to be much better in year one of the GST implementation itself. One of the key ideas and suggestions behind the setting up of the Niti Aayog had been that India has today changed and the traditional structure of control and command economy also has to alter. There has to be a greater empowerment of the states. The same central scheme which is applicable to Punjab may not be applicable to Tripura, but to mandate earlier 130 central schemes, now 67 central schemes, on the principle of one size fits all being applicable to every state is no longer acceptable. The Niti Aayog, therefore, will also be a body which will comprise of the Prime Minister, some central ministers, the chief ministers of all states, and one of the objects has to be to financially empower the states so that they can decide what schemes on those central fundings help them the most. And therefore, this is going to further lead as far as the empowerment of the states is concerned. We are in an era of cooperative federalism. The center and the states have to cooperate with each other. You have a mandate to rule here, we have a mandate to rule in Delhi. We have to cooperate with each other to fulfill that mandate. But just as I mentioned, the investor chooses which country to invest in, which state to invest in. We are also living in an era where there is competitive federalism. States today in India are competing with each other so that the best share of the pie can come to them. Whoever is able to offer the best to an investor will be able to get the maximum. We as the central government are keenly interested that an interstate equity also remains. And that is why the Prime Minister has repeatedly said the eastern part of India must grow as rapidly or not more than the western part of India itself. And therefore, this inequity between the eastern part of India and the western part of India must now come to an end. And therefore, there are challenges which we have ahead of us. These are national challenges. And when I analyze both India's economy today and West Bengal's economy, there are three things in common that I find. We need to give a spurt to investment. We need to substantially concentrate on our manufacturing sector. We need to give a massive boost to infrastructure, particularly public spending in infrastructure. This is when many parts of the world are slowing down today, and therefore global investors are looking at us. It is this situation which we can convert into an opportunity, and this opportunity will enable India to grow. I am sure the kind of initiatives you are taking through this Global Investors Meet in West Bengal today is certainly going to drive a lot of investment into West Bengal, and that is an area of delight not only for West Bengal but for the entire country. I wish your government and this investment conference, Madam, all the very best, and I am sure the kind of investment boost it will give will certainly be of great use not merely to West Bengal but to the entire country itself. I thank you once again for inviting me for this.
All right, that was Union Finance Minister Arun Jaitley addressing the Bengal Business Summit. He said it's a time of competitive federalism and states have to compete with each other to as they try and seek investments from global corporate leaders. Of course, this statement extremely relevant in light of the fact that the Bengal Business Summit is competing with the vibrant Gujarat Summit. Arun Jaitley also said that he would like to see glorious highways and ports in West Bengal. He asked the Union Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari, who is also present at the summit, to devise ways of how new townships can be developed with the help of new highways in the state. He also said the state needs more investment, not just by the centre, also by the private sector. Also, in a statement that was meant for Mamata Banerjee, he ensured that the TMC government that the goods and services tax will not adversely affect the economy of any state, including West Bengal, and that if it does, the centre will compensate for it.